Child sexual abuse is a hideous crime. Helping a child cope with the experience can be traumatic and confusing. Child psychiatrist Dr Aili Hashim explains the importance of counselling and proper medical care for the victims to recover.
It actually takes quite a long time to counsel these kids, and that is especially if they are older or if they are matured, so they are very aware of the impact or things leading towards the abuse or the consequences of the abuse. So we see some of the kids with depression is one, and a lot of anger at what has been happening, or as well as guilt. The specific characteristic for those who have what we call post-traumatic stress disorder is the nightmares, the incidences that reminds them of the abuse. So the answer to your question, do they forget? I think it's no. But they don't. But with recovery, they do think of it less, or we teach them skills so that if there are incidences or places or people that remind them of the abused or the abuser, we give them the skills so that they are less sensitized to the traumatic incidents.
Identifying the predator who preys on children for sexual gratification is often difficult. More often than not, they're normally individuals close to the family and have gained the trust of the children.
I don't think there is a specific profile on sex offenders because over the last couple of years, we know that there's no such thing as a dirty old man, right? And the offenders can be like what the minister has said in the papers, is that the offenders can be fathers, uncles, brothers, so on and so forth. So they can be most likely people that are within the environment of the child. So it's very, very hard to recognize. But to parents, I would say, if a child says, hey mom, you know, this has happened to me, or someone did this to me, I would definitely put a traffic light, stop, and instead of dismissing it, I would take heed and investigate whether this is true. Because from my experience, when this does happen, right, a lot of parents will say, that doesn't happen. Even now, you know, we've had kids saying, yes, I did tell my mom this, or I did tell my dad this, but this was not taken seriously. And for many years, the thing is not talked about, all right? And I've had clients who now talk about, you know, I did tell my parents before, but they've said this has happened to them, or this is most likely not happened, so it's not talked about even till now. The people are still around in the environment, and still nothing has been done. So therefore, it creates a lot of hostility in this child who is now become an adult.
She says parents must educate themselves to read the telltale signs in their children's behavior. Dr. Aili says parents should also maintain an open communication with their children to protect them from being victimized and not to take the matter lightly.